was a strange twist of irony on Monday, December 9th, when one of Turks and Caicos Island's top police officers found himself sitting inside the dock of the criminal court to answer 5 serious corruption charges. For 15 tense minutes, Rodney Adams, the acting Deputy Commissioner of Police, appeared before Magistrate Joylan Hatman on charges that were brought under the new Integrity Commission Ordinance. If found guilty, Adams faces up to 5 years in prison, a fine of $20,000, and the possibility of being barred from holding public office. The corruption charges were all in relation to Adams' alleged involvement in the Keziah Burke murder investigation, in which his son Rico Adams was a suspect but has since been cleared of any wrongdoings. Dressed in a black suit, a blue shirt, and wearing spectacles, the well-built Adams arrived at court number 2, which is located in the IGA complex, around 9:30 a.m., accompanied by his lawyer Jamal Mizik of the law firm Mizik and Stanberg. As the charges were read out to him by Magistrate Hatman, Adams stood erect and had a very serious look on his face. He was not required to plead to the 5 charges, and he continues to be on $30,000 bail with one surety. After reading out the charges to Adams, the magistrate told the senior cop that he had the option of having the cases tried in the magistrate court or in the Supreme Court, and that he should consult with his lawyer. Deputy Commissioner Adams leaned over the dock and had a brief conversation with his lawyer, then replied, "Magistrate Court, Your Honor." However, Magistrate Hatman said he would have to send the matter to the Supreme Court because the Magistrates Court does not have sufficient sentencing powers. He then told Adams that he will have to appear before Chief Justice in Grand Turk on February 7, 2014. A few of Adams' police colleagues and family were in court for the hearing. Among them were his brother-in-law, Superintendent Kenny Grant, Sergeant Willett Harvey, Sergeant Draxwell Porter, and Inspector Randy Ellis. Adams' father-in-law, former Commissioner of Police Albert Grant, was also in court. You could hear a pin drop in the court when the magistrate read out the very serious charges. The first charge of corruption was that Adams, in the performance of his duty as a public official, performed his duties in the public body for the purpose of obtaining a benefit for another person. The charge stated that you, Rodney Adams, between April 13th and May 24, 2013 in Providence, CIDs, in the performance of your duties as the Acting Deputy Commissioner of Police in the Royal Turks and Caicos Islands Police Force, and for the purpose of exonerating your son, Roderick Rico Adams, continued, and without recusing yourself, to perform your duties as Deputy Commissioner in charge of operations, while being well aware that your said son was implicated or suspected of being implicated in the murder of Keziah Burke on or about April 13, 2013. The second corruption charge was recklessly allowing his private interest to improperly influence his conduct in the performance of his duties as a public official. That you, Rodney Adams, between the April 13th and May 24, 2013 in Providence, Cialis, as the Acting Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of operations, continued, without recusing yourself, to perform such duties, including obtaining information on the police investigation of the murder of Keziah Burke, while being well aware that your son, Roderick Rico Adams, was implicated or suspected of being implicated in the said murder. The third charge of corruption was for interfering with the performance of a duty of a public official with a view to obtaining a benefit for another person. That you, Rodney Adams, between the April 13 and May 24, 2013 in Providence, Cialis, as the Acting Deputy Commissioner of Police, and contrary to the instructions of your Commissioner of Police, that you should not have had any involvement in the police investigation of the murder of Keziah Burke, in which your son, Roderick Rico Adams, is implicated or suspected to be implicated, nevertheless, and with a view to exonerating your said son, interviewed and recorded statement from Darrell Williams, a suspect in or witness to the said murder, who was due to give and before he gave his statement to the investigating officers of the police force and thereby interfered with the performance of their duty. The fourth corruption charge was for recklessly allowing his private interest to improperly influence his conduct and the performance of his duties as a public official. That you, Rodney Adams, between the April 13th and May 24, 2013 in Providence, Cialis, as the Acting Deputy Commissioner of Police, contrary to the instructions of your Commissioner of Police, that you should not have any involvement in the police investigation of the murder of Keziah Burke, in which your son, Roderick Rico Adams, is implicated or suspected to be implicated, nevertheless interviewed and recorded statement from Darrell Williams, a suspect in or witness to the said murder, who was due to give and before he gave his statement to the investigating officers of the public force. The fifth corruption charge was for delaying the performance of a duty of a public official with a view to obtaining a benefit for another person. That you, Rodney Adams, between the 13 and 19 April 2013 in Providence, Cialis, well knowing that your son Roderick Rico Adams was implicated or suspected of being implicated in the murder of Keziah Burke on or about 13 April 2013, accepted responsibilities for ensuring that your said son attend the office of the investigating officers police force investigating the murder at 10 a.m. on 17 April 2013, but did not ensure your said son attendance on 17 April 2013 or on 18 April 2013, thereby delaying that arrest of your said son by the said investigating officers. In a new and interesting development, a Canadian Queen's Counsel by the name of Andres Burson is prosecuting the case for the Crown. In other corruption cases, British prosecutors were used. By way of coincidence, the Director of Public Prosecutions, Joan Meloche, is also from Canada. I'm Toddleen Jaffelin, and thanks once again for watching this breaking news bulletin.